relative um, um, absolutes, we have um, relative internal, and we have um, um, relative internal, relative reference, relative internal, and relative absolute. So the absolute is linking to another page. The internal is linking within the page, the same page. And then the relative reference is linking to what we have within the page, but is in a local file within the VS Code.
You understand? We are not lost into one bed. So I don't understand.
So we have. Are you following? Sorry?
What do you call absolute?
Absolute. Absolute reference.
Okay.
Absolute reference. That's references absolute, like going out of the entire VS Code to a different page entirely, from a page to another page. Absolute, yes, absolute reference. Then we now have internal reference. The internal type is the one that is linking within is within the same, yes, within the same, no, within the same environment, within the same file, but page to page. That's page to page. Sorry, page to page is relative reference. The internal is within the same page, section to section. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Internal, section to section on the same page. Then relative, within the same file, within the same environment in VS Code, from page to page. And then we now have absolute, which is to another page entirely, outside VS Code, outside your file. Do you understand?
Okay, sir. So you're not sharing your screen, or you're not?
Oh, sorry. Share my screen, entire screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's quickly look at the different examples. So we have
Okay, I'm recording this on too, sir.
yes, I'm recording it. I actually lost focus in between, so I'm just trying to, because I had to quickly get my charger to charge, and so, but let's get back to it. So absolute, before let's look at internal first off, which is within the same page from section to section, right? So we can now have let's label the sections first off. So you have attributes inside the first section. One, I said is ID, for example. It's just like giving the section a name so that you can link it to, can have a link, create a link to it, right? So ID, which is like labeling this particular section, we can call it, what do we have there as content? Food, right? Then we can now have another section, the next section, which is this second section, ID equals, what do we have here? Let's call this one list, abi. Then we have another one, another section. This is another section. Let me put space so that to be obvious. So we can call this one ID. We can call this one, what do we have here? football. Okay, it's saved. And then we have another section. I think that's all, apart from the footer. If we want to link to the footer, we can have the ID here so as well. But let's keep that, so we can just go Control S to save it. So now let's have our link. So now this is the nav. This is the nav. This is our nav, and this is in the header section. If you go to the mail to the web browser, this is our nav. So we want to convert this list to links. We want to convert them. We want to make them linkable to other sections of the website. So we'll now go back. Now they are ordinary text, but they are in a list, unordered list. That's why they are not numbered. And this is our header. So we'll now come here and then now say okay, let's make them linkable. So we can now enter the list item and then type A, which is anchor tag for creating links. So when you type A and hit enter, you have this href, which is reference. So you can now have the link where you want this particular Ronaldo to link to. Right now, this is the closing tag, because Ronaldo is the one that needs to carry the link. He is the one that wants to make the link. So the closing anchor tag has to be behind Ronaldo. So we have to delete this and bring it to the back of the text. Do you understand? So that it can wrap it together. But mind you, the fact that we are converting this to a link does not mean that it is still not a list item under the unordered list. Do you get?
Yes, sir.
So now let's add the link to it. So because we want to link this to Ronaldo, let's say we want to link Ronaldo to list, for example. Or no, let's link it to football so that it can make sense. So the ID of this section, we want to link it to this section to football. So we just come here and then hash football. And then we save. You shouldn't miss the spelling so that it can be exact info. Okay, it's just single L that is here, so it should be single L here because you are linking it, right? So let's go to the live browser. Let's see. You can see it has automatically become a link. So if you click, suppose you take us there. Let's check what is wrong. What could be wrong? Okay, let's try the second one. Messi, for example. Let's have anchor tag. Let's have hash list, and then cut Messi and command V it here. Save it. And because we have used this first link, we have clicked on it, so it has been visited. It has recorded as visited. That's why the color has changed. But this one is still fresh because we've not clicked on it. We click on it. I don't know why it's not leading to this. Let's close this. But let's link all of them. Then we'll now come back to it to know exactly what is going on. So we have food. So now there needs to be enough space in between before this can link to the next section, because it's meant to shift. Now let's try something. Let's come to the footer, for example. Let's create a link in the footer. Let's say anchor tag A for anchor tag, and let's type hash, and then come here and then type back to top, and then save, and then we go live. Now we're at the bottom like this. This is the footer. So we can type this and it takes us back to the top. It takes us back to the top. Now this is still within the same page. This is exactly how this is supposed to link us to other sections at the bottom. Right? So let's try something. Maybe because the distance is not so much. Let's try something. This playing football has never been okay. Let's say it's supposed to still link, but this link now, this particular one back to top, takes us back to the top of the page, right? Let's try to link this to something, maybe to the lowest bottom area of the page. Let's say this is okay. This is the last section. What do we have here? Where is the opening tag? This is football. Basically, this is the closest. This is the closest to the bottom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or does it want us to call it out? Let's try something. HTML. That's Ronaldo. Because that has already caused a conflict. It's not meant to be so. So I'm trying to wonder why this is that. So we'll come back to this. So now let's do that's internal reference. We've actually now let's try relative reference. We've tried relative reference, but not from page to page. It's just basically linking pure CSS. So we can have another file and call it about me dot css, and no, not so dot css, sorry, rename about me dot html. So this is going to be like another page, or we can rename it and call it ronaldo dot html. You see, there's nothing here, it's empty, but we can have data. We can quickly copy, since every HTML page should have head tag, right, and all of this declaration, we can copy from here and then come to Ronaldo and then paste it here, so that when the browser visits this page, it will still read meanings to everything that is there. So we can have it here, and then we can now have closing tags, HTML, bring it down. We can have body, bring it down, and then we can have other things we need to have in here. We can copy from here just to save time. We can just copy this code this whole section, copy, paste it in the body just to have something. If you run this now, you can view it. So let's just say this is Ronaldo page. This page is for Ronaldo, so that we can link to it from our main HTML, from our home page. So we can go back to our VS Code and then our index.html, which is the main page, and then we can now link, where is it, Ronaldo. Remove this hash football, then link this to Ronaldo. You see, it has brought it up as suggestion, Ronaldo.html, and then save. So if you go to the web page, let's close this and this. Index.html, and then tap Ronaldo to take us to the Ronaldo page. It will take us to the Ronaldo page. Then we can also have a link that takes us back to the home page from Ronaldo page, for example. If you go back to the VS Code, so that link is not going to be in the index.html. It will be in the Ronaldo page. Since we want to link from Ronaldo page back to the index, to the main home page, so we can have the link somewhere, maybe at the top. A tag, anchor tag for links, for creating links. So we can have / index.html, which is where our home page is, and then we can now say back home, Control save, then run the code from our HTML, index.html, which is our home page. It's Ronaldo. It takes us to our page, and then back home, it takes us to the home page. You can have that like that. So this is back and forth, from page to page within the same folder. Now let's look at absolute. Absolute will take us to a different website entirely. Let's say we want to link the second. This is index.html. Let's say we want to link this Messi to Google page, like google.com, for example. We'll change this from this. We'll remove this list, and then we'll type in Google URL. So we'll just come here, enter google.com, come here, copy the URL. Let's paste it here to see what we have. Okay, this is not bad. So we'll just go to our VS Code and then paste it here. Then save it. This is Messi, right? Then go live. Messi. It takes us to google.com. But in case when maybe now you notice it took us to google.com, but like we can't, like it just, before we go back to the home page, we have to just hit this and then bring us back to the home page. Hit Messi, it takes us to google.com. But in a situation whereby you don't want to move in this manner, you just want to have, maybe you want to have Google open in a separate tab, for example, like a separate tab, while still maintaining the home page, then we'll now add an attribute. Let me close this. Then we'll add an attribute. We'll come here. Where is the link? This is the link, right? Then we'll add extra attributes and call it target. And that target, we call it blank. And then we save. When you type target, options will pop up, and then you select blank, and then you save. That means we want this Messi to link to google.com, but we want it to open a separate tab for it, while we still maintain this whole HTML index.html page, which is the home page. So we can now come here, go live, hit Messi. It takes us to a separate tab opening Gmail or Google, and then while we still have the home page itself. So this is absolute referencing. Are you still there?